What is going on, guys? Executus here, coming at you with this Legion class preview series. Warlock. Today we're going to be looking at the Warlock, my main class, and basically what my channel is based off of, which is my Warlock Executus. Oops. Alright, so today we're going to be looking at the new class changes that are happening to Warlocks, and I'm very excited to share you what my opinions are and what is going to be happening. So first, blah blah blah, some backstory about warlocks and their demology and destruction, affliction, blah blah blah, chaos. But if you want to read that, you're more than welcome to. Just go to battle.net and go to home and go to the Legion class preview series. All right, so we're gonna hop right into this. The changes happening to affliction. These warlocks delight in using fell forces to cause intense pain and suffering to others. And then there should be over time. Everything affliction related is dots, which is damage over time. And yeah, all right. So to give you an idea what affliction warlock is in action, here's a basic look at their core combat abilities. Corruption, 3% of mana. It looks like everything's based off mana now. I think that was the same as before, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, so corruption's the exact same. Basically causes damage over 14 seconds. Agony, which is that and unstable affliction is our two most high DPS dots, and this inflicts increasing agony on the target, causing up to a huge amount of shadow damage over 18 seconds. Damage starts at low and increases over the duration. Refreshing agony maintains its current damage level. So I'm assuming it's still going to be up to 40, up to 10 stacks of agony. And it says when agony deals damage, you have a chance to regain a soul shard. So that's cool. It's the same as before. Now this is different. Unstable affliction. It costs 1 soul shard, which wasn't the case before. It was free. And so that's a new change. And it says, and especially insidious, probably not pronouncing that right, affliction that deals strong shadow damage over 8 seconds. I think the old dot was 10 seconds. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, and it says if the target dies, the soul shard will be refunded. And this is also interesting. It says if unstable affliction is dispel, the dispeller suffers strong shadow damage and is silenced for 4 seconds. Now that's kind of, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. That's just kind of dumb. Why would they be silenced for dispelling a dot? So if priests or paladins or whatever, resto druids, resto shamans are noobs, and they dispel unstable affliction, they'll be silenced for 4 seconds, and maybe you can do a chain CC off of that. I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Drain life. That's 3% of mana plus 4,800 mana per second, 40-yard range channeled. It drains the life from a target, causing moderate shadow damage and restoring 18% of the caster's health over 6 seconds. Drains life damage is increased by 50% for each of your corruption, agony, and unstable affliction dots on the target. So I'm assuming if I just put up all these dots and I have 10 stacks of agony, that drain life is going to do a decent amount of damage. I don't know if they got rid of drain soul. Maybe this was replacing it, but that would be dumb because then it just turned into like the old demology warlocks. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't see the change here. I think the change is just the damage increase. Mastery potent afflictions increases the damage of agony, corruption, and unstable affliction by 62.5% with mastery from typical gear. Now that's a lot. If you think about it, that's a lot. If I have 100 mastery, I get an extra 62.5% increased damage from having that 100 mastery. Yeah, so that's going to be cool. So it looks like they're still kind of overpowered, but they got rid of some. I don't know if they got rid of some of its abilities or it's just explaining some of its, the main dots and abilities. If that makes sense. Additionally, to provide a glimpse at how some of the talents may build upon this, here's one example of an affliction-specific talent. Ian, whatever, I don't know how to pronounce that. It's a passive. After you cast Unstable Affliction, you can cast a second one for free within 3 seconds. So if you're in that RBG group and you need to, dot up the entire team, you cast one Unstable Affliction, then the next one on a different target, and then cast another one, and then the next one. So you've got 4. You've used 2 Soul Shards, and you've cast 4 Unstable Afflictions. Now, assuming because Unstable Affliction causes or is it requires a Soul Shard, that's going to be doing a lot more damage now. Something they could do is be like, oh, since it costs a Soul Shard, it should be cast at the end. Let's say, by the end, I mean once your Agony has hit 10 stacks and your Corruption is, on its last legs. This is 14 seconds, and this is, I think, 18 seconds. So let's say your dots are about to run up. You cast Unstable Affliction, and it will refresh all of your dots, as well as apply an additional dot. That would be cool. Because I don't necessarily agree with it taking up 1 Soul Shard. That seems like a lot, because especially Affliction, they're not easy to gain back. Soul Shards aren't easy to gain back. I mean, with the set bonus, you're looking at 1 Soul Shard every 15 seconds. That's if you get CC'd. But yeah, let's move on to Demo. The Demonologist has mastered harnessing the power of malefic beings on the field of battle. So, like they have before, they always have a pet, basically. Shadow Bolt, blah, blah. I'm not really interested in Demo, to be honest. Once I see it in game, it's definitely going to be a lot more interesting in game. But for right now, I'm not really that interested in Demo, nor do I know how they work. But I'll just read off their abilities anyway. Shadow Bolt, 6% mana, 40-yard range, 2.5-second cast, sends a shadowy bolt at the enemy, causing minor shadow damage, generates 1 Soul Shard. So, I'll explain why every class has Soul Shards now, as well as Destruction. It doesn't make any sense to me, but call Dread Stalkers, 2 Soul Shards, 40-yard range, 2-second cast, 15-second cooldown. Summon 2 ferocious Dread Stalkers to attack the target for 12 seconds. I think they look like Fell Hunters, I want to say, but they have like really long hair and they don't have horns or whatever. They look like that mount you can see in game. Hand of Gul'dan, 1 to 5 Soul Shards. What? We have 5 now, apparently. That's cool. 40-yard range, 1.5-second cast, calls down a demonic meteor full of wild imps, which burst forth to attack the target for 12 seconds. This is like, I don't know what demonology spell it is now, but pretty sure it's the same exact thing. Deals a strong amount of damage to blah 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 5 ints based on the number of soul shards consumed. Demonic Empowerment, 6% mana, 12-second recharge, 3 charges. Empowers up to 3 of your active demons with dark energies, increasing their haste and health by 50% for 12 seconds. Sounds like a Beast Mastery Hunter, to be honest. Master Demonologist increases the damage by 50% with Mastery. See, that's why I said Affliction is a lot, because Affliction's 62.5, and Destruction and Demology only 50% from typical gear. Doom, 2% mana, inflicts damage over time. Demon Wrath, more damage, blah blah. I don't really care, to be honest. Implosion. You guys can read this if you're interested in Demology. But let's move on to my favorite class, a Destruction Warlock, as you see that green fire here. Warlocks who command the power of destruction favor incantations. I can't even pronounce it, man. Incantations of pure chaos and aggression. Sweet. Incinerate, 6% mana, blah blah blah. Draws fire towards the enemy, dealing moderate fire damage. No changes there. Immolate, 6% mana, burns the enemy with fire, causing minor fire damage and additional strong fire damage over 15 seconds. No changes there except for this. Immolate critical strikes have a 30% chance to generate soul shards. Now, why, Blizzard? Why do Destruction Warlocks have soul shards? I don't understand. Why don't they have Burning Embers? That was the separation between an Affliction Warlock and a Destruction Warlock. is they had burning embers. Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with it at all. But let's move on. Conflagrate, 2% mana, blah blah blah. Two charges. Triggers an explosion of fire on the target, dealing moderate fire damage and generating a soul shard. Okay, that's unique. So you have two instant cast conflagrates which generate soul shards. Okay, that's weird. So you huh. I don't know if this is weird. So when you start off, I'm assuming when you start off as destruction, you start off with all 5 soul shards in Legion. So you'd run into a battle, you'd have 5 soul shards. So the first thing you'd do would probably cast Havoc, then 2 Chaos Bolts, which would get you down to 1 soul shard because each Chaos Bolt is 2 soul shards. Then you might cast 2 Conflagrates to gain those 2 soul shards back, equaling a total of 3 soul shards. And then maybe cast Immolate to get that 30% chance to generate an extra soul shard. And then you pop, your cooldowns and stuff. Maybe that's what it is. And it also causes Backdraft, reducing the cast time of Incinerate and Chaos Bolt by 30% for 5 seconds. Now, what it used to be is Backdraft used to reduce the cast time of 6 Incinerates and 2 Chaos Bolts by 30%. If you cast 1 in Conflagrate, you'd get a Backdraft of 3 stacks of Incinerate or 1 Chaos Bolt. So if you do 2 charges, but it's only for 5 seconds. So I'm assuming this stacks. So if you do 2 Conflagrates, you have 10 seconds of 30% reduced cast time instead of just 6 stacks, which equal 2 Chaos Bolts or 6 Incinerates. Chaos Bolt, 2 Soul Shards, 2.5 second cast, unleashes a devastating blast of chaos, causing huge shadow damage. Chaos Bolt always critically strikes, and your critical strike chance increases its damage. Same thing as before, except it costs 2 Soul Shards. Havoc, mark a target with Havoc for 8 seconds, causing your single target spells to also strike them. Limit 1. So that means you can only do 1 spell on a Havoc target. So whereas before you'd have 4 stacks of Havoc, so you can do 1 Chaos Bolt and a Conflagrate. So apparently you can only either do 1 Chaos Bolt or 1 Conflagrate to generate one Conflagrate would generate 2 Soul Shards. If that makes sense. And then you have Mastery, Chaotic Energies. Your destruction spells deal up to 40%. What? Blizzard. Why? Why do you think destruction sucks in PvP? Or it doesn't suck, but Affliction's overpowered, and you made Affliction 62.5% mastery increase. You made Demology a 50%, and you made Destruction a 40%. Whatever. 40% with mastery from typical deer. Additional damage randomly. What? I don't even know. Whatever. But additionally, to provide a glimpse at how some of the talents may build upon this, here's an example of one destruction-specific talent. Channel Demon Fire. 4.8% mana channeled. Launches 15 bolts of fell fire at immolated enemies within 40 yards over 3 seconds. Each bolt deals moderate fire damage. So what this does is, you know how Drain Life is single target? Excuse me. So what I think is going to happen is that you're going to cast some sort of green ability that looks like Drain Life, but it's going to reach to every single target within 40 yards that has Immolate on them. But this is just a talent. There's going to be, several other talents. So, yeah. Well, that concludes it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think about the new Warlock changes, if you like them, depending on what class or depending on what specialization you play. Let me know what you think. I played Destro and Affliction. Affliction changes look good, but the destruction changes don't look good at all. I don't like how we're using soul shards over burning embers. But yeah, the first comment is please buff Destro from Nekai, whatever. I don't understand. But thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.